Good day, dear viewers. This is the game 7 Days to Die Part 2, and I'm Alex to share game. If we complete the tutorial on the tasks that are visible on the right side of the screen, then we will be shown the path to the first store. I think we don't need it now. In order to buy something in the store, you need to build a development strategy from the initial weeks to sales. Because in stores everything is sold at a very unfavorable rate. I tried from the start to arrange a development strategy through stores, and it's quite interesting. We will definitely try this method, but not now. Now we will try to develop to the middle stage on our own, making life a little easier for ourselves with frequent air jobs. In this game, the harvesting of wood is perfectly implemented. The trees are beautiful and fall with a quality natural sound that we will be able to appreciate later in the game when it is at first speed. A lot of wood is needed. You can get to the middle stage of the game at the expense of large stocks of wood and a small amount of other resources. Properly using the existing buildings on the map, you can use the strength of concrete in the buildings of the surrounding gas stations and shops at the expense of light blocks of wood and stairs during periods when there is especially nothing to protect yourself from the waves of attackers when the red night comes. Even with maximum night length and blocks damage from attackers, one gas station survives at least one night and only part of the buildings collapses. With minimum repairs, it can survive 2 nights. On the third night, the repair already becomes not cost effective, since there are always concrete structures needed. At least this was the case in previous versions, but we will check how it will be here. Pay attention to how well experience goes to level up from mining activities. First playthrough, I suggest watching the miner. In the future, try to play different roles. I apologize in advance for the quality of the video. In the near future, I will try to double the computing power, and it will become better. The structure of our shelter at the beginning will be based on the abundance of blocks of earth and stone around the created hole in the ground. Later, there will be an increase in depth to create a second level of protection. And the next step will be an add-on from above, from comfortable looking up to check how things are going, and easy unloading process after going out for resources. And the creation in the future of at least one of the entrances for transport. Then we will dig deeper to indestructible blocks, creating a shaft of maximum depth with emergency escape routes. We will make them exits from transport. The places where to start digging the entrance will be shown to us by our opponents, where they make their way to us. Once again, I want to mention that now there will be no optimal way to achieve goals, because a lot has changed since my last entry into the game. I don't know how things are now in the sandy biome, but it used to leave pleasant memories due to the easy and quick collection of yucca fruits from local cacti, thanks to which there was always a large supply of tonic drinks and food, but a very small amount of wood, because it has to be extracted from the roots that were rare and extremely small. Digging sand is a pleasure because it is easy even without advanced skills, and some blocks of sand and clay were created quickly and allowed to design, invent, and constantly change the colossal size of buildings. It's a pity that there are not even a few screenshots left of when I made two huge sphinxes from these blocks near the entrance of my pyramid, under which there was a main hall. Perhaps it would be great in the future to see an addition to this game that allows you to enjoy the creation of mines, tunnels, and underground halls in a virtual reality helmet, where they will be worked out even better and show the smallest details of the digging and drilling process. When a drill with a gasoline engine appears at our disposal, it will make sense to create several dozen furnaces, but now it will be enough to use only one. With 10 furnaces, it will be possible to create interesting buildings as well as refine existing ones. All defensive structures in the past. Look at this. You need 3 or 5 layers of sharpened sticks and something on top to climb over or jump over them. Now there is such an opponent who jumps over these obstacles, just like us, and even better. This is an interesting innovation. I hope this will be a lot of them later. Given that the number of zombies will be in a week, I'm guessing 50 per day and about 100 per red night. If this is the case, then I needed to figure out how actively firearm consumables are being restored at points like the roofs of the best buildings, where there is always something useful. If by going around these points in transport and climbing stairs prepared in advance, it will be possible to restore stocks for this level of expenses. Then it will make sense to raise firearm skills. if there are few consumables and their location is uncertain. Then it makes sense to develop a bow and a sledgehammer to the maximum. From the point of view of convenience, the sledgehammer is better, but from the point of view of safety, the spear keeps enemies at distance, and the best spear at a very large and comfortable distance. But we have not upgraded the characteristics responsible for the spears yet. I think that if all the basic skills are at the proper level, then the next point makes sense to develop spears. However, first of all, I believe that farming and cooking should be developed for high healing rates and useful temporary bonuses. Please note that in the second week on a raid night, I climbed onto a protective structure and removed the props in order to prevent the zombies from climbing up to me, but they stood on each other's heads and got to me. In previous versions I did not observe this. However, this is often found in films. I don't think it's a bug, but an improvement to make it more interesting. So it's all for this part. Wish you a good rest and see you in the next part. Bye.